The Honourable Member for Burnaby, New Westminster.
It's 25 days until the review deadline for the proposed takeover of Nexen by CNOOC. And yesterday we asked the Minister what steps he'll be taking to clarify the net benefit test. There was no answer. We asked what they'll be doing for public consultations. There was dead silence and no answer at all. Now, even Conservative MPs are raising concerns about this inaction. With only a few weeks left for the review, will the Minister stop stonewalling and agree to hold public consultations on the Nexen takeover deal?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, this transaction will be scrutinised very closely, and I must remind my colleague that we have targeted amendments to the Investment Canada Act that provide greater transparency to the public, more flexibility in enforcement, and an alternative to costly and time-consuming litigation. But we don't have to take lesson from the NDP. Their policies would deter any form of investment here in Canada. It would impact the jobs, it would kill the jobs, and it would impact Canadian families, and we won't go down that path, Mr. Speaker.
Monsieur le Président, les députés d'arrière-ban et les ministres conservateurs sont inquiets du rachat de Nexen. Le ministre d'État aux Finances a dit, et je cite, « J'ai entendu beaucoup de préoccupations, des préoccupations sur l'énergie, sur l'industrie des ressources, des préoccupations d'une compagnie étrangère qui investit au Canada. » Il s'agit d'un enjeu stratégique important, mais les conservateurs n'ont toujours pas défini ce qu'est un avantage net pour le Canada. Pourquoi les conservateurs consultent-ils les lobbyistes de CNOOC et Nexen, mais refusent-ils de consulter le public?
Monsieur le Président, il existe une procédure qui concerne l'examen de cette transaction. Ça va être évalué avec toute l'attention nécessaire. Et voir si effectivement la transaction procure un avantage net pour le Canada, Monsieur le Président. Mais je dois rappeler qu'on a des investissements ciblés au niveau de la loi sur l'investissement au Canada qui rendront son application plus transparente pour le public, plus souple, de manière à éviter aussi des complexes litiges. Alors, Monsieur le Président, on n'a pas de leçon à recevoir du NPD. Ce qu'il propose comme politique éliminerait toute forme d'investissement au pays. Ça aurait un impact négatif sur les emplois, un impact négatif sur les familles canadiennes, et on n'ira pas dans cette direction-là, Monsieur le Président.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby, New Westminster.
Well, the lesson we can give them, instead of making stuff up in the House, they should be consulting with Canadians outside of the House of Commons. Now, today, the Minister of State for Finance said this about the Nexen takeover. I've heard many concerns, varying concerns from my constituents. The government is even ignoring Conservatives. Now, this takeover opens up serious questions about ownership of Canada's energy resources. We know the Minister is consulting thoroughly with lobbyists from CNOOC and Nexen. Why won't he agree to consult the Canadian public for a change?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, there is a process in place to review this transaction and determine whether it's provide a net benefit for Canada. This transaction will be scrutinized very closely, and I must remind my colleagues that we all know that NDP is against all trade. They are even opposed to free trade with the United States. We won't go down that path, Mr. Speaker. We are a responsible government, and we will do whatever we have to do to make sure that we have economic growth and jobs creation in this country, Mr. Speaker.